Step outside the wall.
This is outside the wall. Outside the wall.
This is Outside the Walls, a podcast about breaking limiting beliefs and building a life that's actually yours. Through conversations about mindset, purpose, and life, I'm Dave Gast. Let's step outside the walls. Let's have a conversation about stress. I think a lot of people are running on fumes these days. Not because they're lazy, but because life slowly became one giant pressure cooker. Work, bills, phone buzzing every 6 seconds. Bad news, 24 hours a day. And people demanding access to your time non-stop. And somewhere along the way, stress became normal, almost celebrated. Ain't that crazy? Life exhaustion is supposed to mean you're important. Yeah, I used to buy into that. Not anymore. The older I get, the more I realize peace is something you have to protect aggressively because stress will absolutely dominate your life if you let it. I remember hearing an interview a few years ago from an NFL player talking about stress during the season. Interestingly enough, not the games, not even the hits. It was the constant pressure from outside the stadium. Meetings, film study, media, fans, trying to recover physically while mentally staying locked in all week. And he said something that stuck with me. He realized the players who lasted the longest weren't always the toughest guys. They were the guys who learned how to recover. And that applies way beyond sports because most people today stay mentally in the game 24 hours a day. Even sitting on the couch, they're checking emails, thinking about work, scrolling through bad news, arguing online with strangers that they will never even meet. No recovery, no reset, just constant mental mileage. And eventually your mind reacts the same way an athlete's body does when it never gets recovery time. You break down. Not all at once either. It just comes slowly. Your patience gets shorter. Your energy drops. You start surviving life instead of actually living it. And that's why rest matters. That's why hobbies matter. That's why private time matters. And even elite athletes understand they can't stay on forever without consequences. Most regular people never learn that lesson. 4 key points to share today. The first one, ignore what doesn't deserve access to your mind. Everything doesn't deserve a reaction, and that took me years to learn. Some things matter, some things, they need action. And some things, honestly, need to be ignored completely. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every headline deserves your emotional energy. And not every irritation deserves a response. People are mentally exhausted because they're trying to carry everything at once. We were never built for that. Second, make time your ally, not your master. I know way too many people who live life every day feeling chased, rushing constantly, apologizing for resting, feeling guilty anytime they slow down. That's not living. That's like surviving with decent Wi-Fi. I've learned something more important though. If you don't slow down intentionally, burnout eventually does catch up and do it for you. And usually at the worst possible time. When you're up against a deadline, it's quarter end, or an important upcoming meeting. That's why private time matters. Take those quiet walks. Get that workout in. Reading, meditation, sitting outside and doing absolutely nothing for 15 minutes. Oh my, does that feel like an impossible task? That stuff matters more than people think. Third, handle unresolved problems sooner. Unresolved situations create hidden pressure. You feel it when you pretend that you don't. those bad relationships, avoided conversations, problems sitting there month after month collecting emotional interest. That weight adds up. And I think a lot of stress comes from knowing exactly what needs attention, but continuing to ignore it and postpone it. Healthier relationships matter. The people around you either bring calm into your life or chaos, and there is not much middle ground there. Fourth and final, open yourself up to life. Stress shrinks people. You stop exploring, stop trying new things, stop enjoying yourself. Life becomes responsibility mixed with routine, and that's dangerous. You need hobbies. Take that trip. New experiences, good meals, people who make you laugh hard enough to forget that even your phone exists. And don't you just love being around people like that? Sometimes your soul doesn't need more productivity. It needs joy again. So maybe reducing stress starts smaller than people think. Eat better, sleep more. That's underrated. Protect your time and provide something relaxing that belongs only to you. And stop glorifying exhaustion like it's some sort of personality trait. Because I don't think the goal of life is to constantly prove how busy you are. I think the goal is to be fully present when you're actually living it. And that's the part people miss. Peace doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from learning what deserves your energy and having the courage to let the rest go. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. And if somebody in your life feels overwhelmed lately, send this episode their way. It might help them breathe a little easier. And I'll see you outside the walls.
This is outside the wall. Outside the wall.
Thanks for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, and share with someone who you feel would benefit from hearing this message. I'm Dave Gast. Keep stepping outside the walls.